Greetings, my name is Meticulous, back with another building session segment on Wirt and Beatrice. So, if you remember where we left off last time, we had just finished Beatrice here, and I was thinking about it a little more. Something that I wanted to try is perhaps if I change out these 1x1 plates, and if I turn them into 1x1 round plates, it might give a little more curvature. So it looks, because with Beatrice, you know, it's not just square, but I don't know, that looks a little strange. I'll probably just leave it how it is. I just want to try. Another thing I was thinking of is perhaps under the tail, if I should put a 1x3 medium blue plate, just to add some more, just kind of, I don't know, substance back there. But might look alright without it. Again, sometimes this is one of the things that perhaps I would best be able to figure out in real life, and not just in the digital scape. But something to think about. I might just hold off for now. Something maybe I'll look into later. All right, so might as well get back on track and actually start building Wirt. So I have got my template here, and an easy way to start out with is just to, well, go with what you know and just go from there. So I have got Wirt right here. I've already got a couple pictures in different poses, and so I've noticed a couple of things. Well, first of all, his hat, I've already deduced that I should be able to build it because with the pieces I want to use, I checked before and you can't get them in, I'm going to use dark red. Otherwise, if his hat wouldn't be able to be built, that would be kind of a bummer right off the start. Actually, I need to get BrickLink right here. But so another thing that I've been noticing is that his, well, as you can see here, his cape's kind of open. You can see his arms, but a lot of times it's just closed, and you can't see his arms there. So, but sometimes it's open. So I'm wondering if I should build two versions, one with a closed cape, one with an open cape, or maybe I should just go somewhere down the middle. What's coming to mind immediately is, oh look, here's Harry Potter and Hedwig. That's what I'm talking about. But what comes to mind immediately is there is a BrickHeadz of, what's his name? Captain, yeah, there he is, Captain Phasma, or there they are. So, and I remember looking at their instructions before, and you can't really see, well, yeah, you can see here, they got a cape on the one arm. So, this gives me the idea that if I wanted to, I could just cover up his arms with just a cloak, and if I made it wrap around, it would give that same effect. So I might go with that. I personally prefer the open cloak, but that could cause problems all in its own right. So, and it's one of those things I'm probably just gonna have to start building and then go from there, see what's plausible. His body is really short compared to his legs, so that's going to throw placement off of, or at least in my mind, of where to actually put like the buttons and how big they should be and where they should be placed on the BrickHeadz. So another thing to consider. And finally, to top it all off, I've got this funny idea that because there's the whole thing with the nose, it just stands out so much, I should add the nose. But normal BrickHeadz don't have noses, and so this one should probably be no exception, but the thought has ran through my mind. But enough about that. So let's see, wrong thing. Easy thing to start out with is just color in whatever's flesh. So this will give you a good point to start with, and then once you start getting color involved, it can kind of get the you can kind of see it and get a better idea. So we know that's gonna be flesh. His arms are white. He's got black shoes with light gray pants. So we're just gonna start adding this stuff here. Again, you go with the simple details, and then you can make it you can go more advanced from there. So let's just get all this situated. If I can place right. So, the way I like to design the BrickHeadz is this 4x4 plate I see as the belt line. So, for instance, that would be gray here as well. And anything above that, this is like the body. This 4x4 plate and down are like the legs and the feet. So that's just a bit of a standard. That way, it's kind of like a bit of a, I guess you could say, gauge. You know, when you're trying to figure out stuff like this, you can be like, okay, this is where it starts, this is where it stops. So let's just go with that hat right now. We can get that out of the way. So there are these really, really nice tall slopes, and I think these would work pretty good if we just start compiling it here or assembling it. Oh dear, I can't place anything. Let's see, let's get a brick to fill up that spot. Might as well use one of these bigger bricks instead of stacking them. I'll just put that. If you can't see a part, it's best just to make it a neutral color, especially because if you're gonna buy it, because that way neutral colors like black and gray, they're cheaper. So if there'd be no need to make that dark red in there and drive up the price. So that's something to think about. So this should give the illusion of a very tall hat, which is what we want, because his hat is super duper tall. Now, I do remember back when I was looking up to see if he could be built. Okay, that's a little, that's you know, I wasn't planning on it being that tall. That that's a little. I know it's really big. I suppose it's accurate, but he just looks like some goofy garden gnome now. Which, I mean, okay, I know that's the point, but it's, I don't know. Perhaps if it didn't have this. What I was getting around to before all that is this piece here actually is this does not come in dark red. Last I checked. I'll double check it now. But so I remember I was coming up with alternate solutions. So let me see. Actually, I'll just go into dark red. This will cut out a lot of the extra nonsense here. So let's see. If we just go to slope, what kind of slopes do we got? Okay, yeah. So we got these. We got this type, but we don't have the I don't know what they call it, concave, convex. We don't have that one that I was using in Digital Designer. So what I remember finding is under brick modified, or was it brick? I think it was brick modified. No, it must have been brick round. There are these, like the droid heads for like R2D2 and stuff. But it wasn't these. What was that under? Perhaps they've moved it, because there's a tile that I know say moved to a different section when I was looking for it recently, so maybe they were doing that here. Perhaps I can even just find it here. Anyway, so it was so what I was planning on doing is just using that piece that I had found, and instead of using this cone, even though this one's a little more it blends in better, but again, with it not being available in dark red, and I don't want to rely on, oh, perhaps one day it will be released in dark red, so I was just going to go with an alternate solution. In the digital file, I probably would have left it as this cone, but then made like a text document note. Like sometimes I'll make little notes about the BrickHeadz if things aren't entirely accurate in the digital file. Like, oh, there was this, or oh, there was that. See, this is what I'm talking about, this little piece. So I thought I could use this on top, and it doesn't look the greatest, but at least it completes the look per se. But all in all, now I'm really thinking that hat's just like super duper over tall. I mean, that is just astronomically tall. I don't know how I feel about. Okay, I know how I feel about that. I don't. Well, sometimes it's better to get a little bit of context in. So why don't we add that hair onto him? So this shouldn't be too difficult. I'm going to guess it's. Gotta love animated GIFs. I'm guessing it's boy, it's really, some of these colors don't translate so well, because like I'm picturing his coat. I'm pointing with the mouse. Oh wait, I can't. I keep pointing with my hand, and then I'm realizing, oh, you guys can't see it, but I forget I can use the mouse. So with the his coat here, it's kind of got like a little. It's a gray, but it's not like Lego's normal gray. So I'm probably just gonna go with dark gray because there's no other substitutes. Even with his hair, it's quite a pale shade of brown. So I know that these brown tile bits, and again, that's the problem with using newer pieces. Sometimes they don't come in the colors you need. But these come in reddish brown, which I'll probably just end up making his hair in, because there's really no other color. let's just go through the color guide here. Because see, some weird colors, like, oh, this might work, salmon color, which comes in like a whopping bizarre amount of pieces from Belleville or Scala. So, no, some of these weird colors aren't actually applicable. Well, why did this bullhorn come in salmon? Okay. Well, never mind. One of those obscure sets. But, see, now, like, flesh, maybe? Or maybe... No, it's got more... Like, dark flesh, maybe. But when you get into these really weird colors, like, we got Bionicle, we got minifig heads, and a horse. So it's not applicable to make them in such colors. Because we want something brown. Not too tan. Yeah, I think reddish brown will be fine. It's not even like anyone's gonna really care, but sometimes just getting those colors can be a little goofy. So when building the face of the BrickHeadz, the front and the back each are a plate out and then tiled, where the sides of heads are just tiled right off the bat. So what I'll probably do is get rid of that. We're gonna need some plates here, and then we'll tile this off. So the studs, we're gonna need to add the hair, and so it's kind of, so it's only coming down in the center, then comes around the side of the head. Apparently I failed to get a good side shot of him. Might have to find one of those later. I guess this would do. But for the front of the head, I might actually, let me get rid of these, and we'll just go and put the hair in the center of the head, and we're gonna see how that looks. So also need some studs here. Start adding some hair, and it does go, okay, yeah, so it just kind of, you know, funnels down in the front, you know, no big deal, just kind of something simple. So something like that. Okay, that's looking kind of strange, I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't have that ruffled look to it to let you know it's actually hair. That could be problematic. Again, sometimes when the characters are so simple, not that they're really simple, I mean, there's enough detail, but translating that into Lego because of plastic and, you know, stuff, everything's usually smooth. It can cause translation issues, to say the least. So we'll go with that for now. The side of the hair, it would have really helped if I had a better side shot. Well, it's going down in front of the hair, so I'll get rid of some of this. And I guess we'll just start tiling off here, here, and here. This would be the hair. That's the side of his head. I really should get more dimension in with that hair. Another funny thing, just a random tidbit, you'll notice that, see how there's no stud here? But the stud appears there as soon as you take it off. See the stud? Okay, now the stud's still here. I don't get that. Usually it disappears like that. That's really strange. I guess if you're looking at the stud, okay, see the stud disappeared. Never mind. I don't know. It's a weird thing with this part. Probably just, obviously it's just a little bug. But, so okay, right off the bat here, I can tell that we're getting the color in and we have absolutely no texture. Fun fact, I hate making the hair on BrickHeadz. It's the part I least like, because at least with hats, except for Wirt apparently, there's, you know, more going on, but with hair, it's just the subtle details trying to, okay, never mind, we'll go back to the picture we had. So the subtle details, even just like the little ruffles, can be kind of difficult to emulate. So a lot of times you're just gonna have to build on top of, like, you're gonna have to layer it. For instance, let's find a, I wonder how many times I'm saying so far. You could probably have a counter, and you could probably get drunk if you were drinking every time I said But like, you know, something like Aquaman here, you know, they've got it layered to add that extra detail. And that's, you know, the technique with, and just using different style slopes and different layers of them, just to give dimension, even just studs to give different dimension. So that's what I'm going to have to pull off with Wirt. However, in my mind right now, I'm not seeing it. His hair is just simple, so my initial concept is to just tile it off. Oh, okay, just put something there. However, it will be more beneficial if I can actually use something like, let's go and check out the reddish brown color, because this will give us a parts palette to work with. Something even more, I would be curious, because the brown color, back a while back, the Lego just had the brown color, and then they updated it to reddish brown, but sometimes the brown color is still applicable if you've got the correct parts in it. Now granted, they're not creating parts in it anymore, so these corner or quarter slopes, or tile round fizz bits, whatever you want to call them, they would not be available in red, brown. So that's where you'll have to, if you go with an older color like that, for instance, the light and dark grays have been updated, so if you want to use the old version of light gray and dark gray, you're going to have a lot fewer pieces. None of the modern ones, and even if they are, they're probably going to be a little bit more on the rarer side. But, you know, just checking through the brown here, to be honest, this is probably a futile effort, but, you know, sometimes you get some unique pieces. For instance, these hinge parts, they're not made anymore currently. They've been updated into the clicky ones. So this you could use in brown if, like, you need this part. Perhaps you can change all the other color to brown and make it seamless. I suppose what you could do is, if you really want to add some dimension, and this is something I've never really considered a lot before, but if you want to mix the brown and the reddish brown, you could add layering that way. Well, actually, okay, I did do that on one BrickHead for his legs, to try to emulate a camo pattern. So it's something you could do, not something that would be very common, but gee, what are these? Find something new. But you know, just random bits to consider. So or even just looking at random parts. For instance, you know, if I want to add texture, perhaps I could use a snowshoe on the side of his head. Trust me, it's not too uncommon to use the randomest parts. I mean, hats, hairbrushes. See, now you got dimension here. Perhaps you could clip it on. Again, you just gotta, all you gotta do is just really start thinking strange and inside out and upside down. And I guess that's what's nice with using limited parts, like colors with limited parts, because it makes you use weird pieces. Like Rosalina is a prime example of that, where I use these the rock bases for back on in 2001, the Life on Mars series, for the biodium crystals. They had these orange rock bases they went in, and in another set they came out with them in bright light yellow. Well, that opted out perfectly for the side hair on her, and it was a piece I would not have considered unless I didn't have much of a choices on parts with bright light yellow. By the way, never build in bright light yellow. They're coming out more pieces in it, but it's a really, really hard color to build in. Okay, so we've gotten to some more interesting parts. Wedge plates, particularly. These could add some more dimension. I'm curious. I thought this was a more modern piece, this 8x8 cutout. When did it come out in brown? Oh, 2001. Okay, the sorting hat. Convenient. Something I would not use because it's too big, but it's always interesting seeing where pieces come in. But yeah, I don't think brown is going to be applicable. Reddish brown, again, should be fine. So we spent all that time going for brown, now we have to go for reddish brown. This is a new part that's going to be quite useful. But again, I don't think it will serve us any good today, but perhaps sometime in the future. So let's see, we got bionicle parts, boat parts, inverted bracket. Wait, this comes reddish brown? Let's check it out. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, right. I've seen that before. I just never put it together. So okay, that might come in handy. Needing for that in the future. We could keep that in mind. Bricks I usually just skip. Bricks are just kind of boring. Unless you get to the brick modifieds, then these are interesting bricks. But again, nothing here that I should be needing, I would say. Perhaps maybe something like this. We'll just put that in a new tab. I like to just scan through the colors, find all the pieces I possibly maybe could use, and then I just scroll back through them from there and see what happens. See, for instance, this cow horn might come in handy. I don't know, might not, but it's just something to keep in mind. Anyone remember that World Builder game? Yeah, where these guys were in it? I think it was the second one. Never could complete the second one. That one was hard. Okay, so here's what I came up with. These useful pieces that are pretty new. You can get these in reddish brown. These goofy pieces used in the minecart set, or the Minecraft sets for the minecarts. This one I don't think might be too useful, so I might just get that out of there. These things, and I thought perhaps if I could clip something onto these, add a little more detail, so we'll see about that. This seems to be a high prospect. These cow horns, again, maybe if I could clip something, clip it onto something. And these hinges, these, I like the idea of that. And also these hinges, they come in reddish brown apparently. But I'm guessing, insidiously, see, this is where you gotta be careful. Yes, they come in reddish brown. Oh look, here, it's a Legoland California set. Let me see how expensive they are. Oh look, they're not for sale. So this is a part I would steer away from. And then these neck brackets. These are always useful for doing weird stuff. Finally, oh, okay, almost finally, we got these door rails, which Lego uses a whole lot in BrickHeadz. And I'm curious what they use in bright light orange. Oh, the yellow submarine. Okay. Bright light orange. So, and then this popsicle. So I thought perhaps if you spin it on its side, you can use it instead of this. It would be a little more narrower, but it might get that job done. So, I don't know. We got some ideas here. I want to attempt and try this hinge. So, it's got some studs on it, so it adds a little bit of dimension, but then it's got the little, the hinge bit, so it just kind of would give that illusion that it's curved and stuff. So if I get this out of the way and pop this here, okay, so it's a little bit too blocky, so we're just gonna get that out of here. Worthwhile effort. See, it doesn't hurt just to try the stuff, because you never know. Even like this piece, I think it's going to be too big. But let's just see what happens. That's what's nice in digital design. I like being able to use the parts in the proper colors. Because then obviously you get a better idea of what you're actually building. So again, that's too low. So we'll get that out of here. And BrickLink's just an invaluable asset to all of this. Without BrickLink, none of this would be going on. So let me see. What would this piece be under? Okay. So it's a little pointy. I wouldn't want to be down there. I want to be up there. Yeah, it's just a little too oddball to try that. We got these. That's probably a little too big, but this could be useful on the side of the head for detail. So perhaps that can be useful. What else we got? We got these. This might be good on the side of the head. These cow horns, I don't know. I'll probably just disregard them. And same with the neck bracket, unless I start doing some really, really weird stuff, which, yeah, don't be surprised if I start pulling that off. But, see, here's another thing. Reddish brown, I don't even know where you'd use a reddish brown. Why would you have a reddish brown popsicle in this set? I don't know, what is it? Chocolate or something? But, again, not very common and quite expensive on top of it. So maybe if you need one, you could get away with it. But, yeah, it's just sometimes good to steer away from that stuff. So this is it's always rough, at least for me, to start out building the hair, because, well, again, like, especially like with Wirt here, there's really no dimension going on per se, so, I've just gotta start adding pieces to it, and I'm just rambling at the moment. Right now, I'm a little brain dead with the ideas, because, you know, even though I haven't tried anything yet, again, I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I'm just staring at the picture. So what I should probably do, I've looked through the parts, seeing maybe what I can use. I'll just, you know, think about it for a little bit, and when I get an idea, I'll let you guys know. You know, I mean, his ears are so big, I'm tempted to do something with those, but I really don't feel like entering that territory, so I might just hold off on the moment. You know, just a side thought, how big their eyes are, it almost might look good if they just had these ones here. I know that's not traditional BrickHead style, but I don't know, it's just something to think about. Not really, I'll probably just go with the BrickHead's eyes anyway, but it was just interesting. Okay, well, I've got this so far. I just colored in the back of the head, and just gave it an overall hair appearance to give it, again, like I was saying earlier, to just, when you see just colors there, you can kind of get a better idea, and then you can just start modifying the pieces from there. Oh, thank you, computer, for totally annoying me while I'm recording a video. So, yeah, we got this so far. I think this might work, kind of, sort of. Maybe, but the front of the hair, this is still totally not gonna fly with me, not one bit. But again, there's not really much more to go with the back of his hair. Again, once you get around to the back side, just tiles should do the trick, but it's getting to there which will be a bit of a hassle. So I'll work on it some more. We'll see what happens. Well, time to see what the professionals have done. I want to check out and see what they've done with the back of the hair, like or behind the ears, because currently I got it out a plate and then a tile, but I don't know if that's like too much going on. Again, this whole stuff is covering up the ear so much, so I don't know what I want to do with that. Fun fact: why did Lego add ears to the minifigure BrickHeadz when they don't have ears on the minifigs? Okay, I'll get back with you. Well, this instruction booklet might be a good idea for hair, but I'll probably be stuck here for days. Yeah, I admit the headphones here are pretty cool. Okay, I've seen enough. I think I got an idea. Or two. Okay, well, I'm going to do something about these ears, because, I mean, they are a prominent feature on his head, and I can't just hide them away. So, time to go a little bit crazy. Well, not really crazy. I mean, Lego's actually done this in, well, what comes to mind, the Flash BrickHeadz. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this out by, half a plate. And how do I do that, you ask? Well, I'm just going to use a bracket. It would help if I actually had correct pieces out of the way. So what I'm going to do is put a bracket there and just attach this onto the bracket, and that should take care of it. Now, the idea I have, or what I'm planning, is that the new little brackets that I've shown earlier, these would be a perfect opportunity to go and use those. One of each style. So something like this. If you take a inverted bracket and a normal one, and if you put a brick in between, you'll find out that they can match perfectly. So this is a brick and two plates, which just so happens to be the same height as one of these fancy dancy bricks. So if you were to put this in here, that would fit in the spot perfectly. So if we use these new ones, I can have this half a plate out, and I can replace the double one of these with a single one, and everyone's happy. The ear is out half a plate, and that gets the job done. So the only thing is you'd be able to see a little bit under here. Not that anyone's going to be looking under there, but if I recall correctly, check it out. We could even just toss in the reddish brown one, just mesh it a little better. So let's go do that with this ear. Alright, so just for the fun of it, we got the ears out half a plate. Maybe in the future, once I get the hair properly done, I could put it out a full plate and just compare. But even right now, that almost gives the effect of his giant ears. I don't know a more tactful way to put it. So, you know, sometimes you can just move things out half a plate, and it gives you just that bit of quality that you're looking for. So now something I just want to bring up is when, you know, I try not to stray too far from, well, okay, I don't know. There's a balance between adding detail to the BrickHeadz and just, you know, going all bananas. I tend to go all bananas, but I at least try to pretend that they still look like a BrickHeadz. So, for instance, right now I got these slopes back here. So it goes from these two plates and down, slopes down to the back of the head. That's fine and dandy, you know, it gives a little more detail, but I'm wondering if it's defeating the BrickHeadz aesthetic. After all, they're BrickHeadz, so it's supposed to be square. I'm not sure if I should just perhaps add and just leave it plated here, just to give so it looks square. I mean, in a sense, that doesn't look so bad. It may even look a little better, to be honest. Something I could do, and again, Lego uses this all the time, is just use these door rails. It just adds a little bit. I can't remember if it's a little less than half a plate. So whatever the dimension, that gives a little extra curvature here. So it doesn't just bank off and like, okay, bam, it's just at the end of the side. Since usually the sides of the head are one plate instead of like the two, this might help ease that transition. So, or I could just leave it like that because that doesn't look so terribly bad. It's something that I'll just probably have to, you know, fiddle around with. This is where usually, if I have a plausible version, I will just copy it and have it standing next to the one I'm currently working on. That way I can compare them right next to each other, and I don't have to just, you know, undo and redo. Like for instance, if I just move these and if I replace all of this, what I would generally do is be like, okay, you know, this might work, but let's try it a different way. And then I would go in this one, and we're going swap these out. So now I've got both of them right here, and so I can be like, okay, so you know, maybe this one, yeah, maybe this one, and in fact, right now, I don't know. I might just stick with this one for the moment. I forgot to actually copy the ears over when I selected it all. That's why, again, if you're going to float pieces, you want to make sure to drag and select, and that way you'll get everything that you want. So we'll just leave it like this for now and see what happens. I don't know about that hat. I'm just blown away by that hat. I mean, I don't know. Why do I pick the strangest characters? Oh, it should be simple to build them as a BrickHeadz, and I come up with these characters and I end up just never mind. You know what I do find funny? These lamp holder pieces don't come in reddish brown, but they do come in brown. So that's another thing that can kind of goof up your building if you needed it. If you needed this part, and it's like, well, that's coming brown, but that's coming reddish brown. So you try to translate all the pieces over to brown, but some of those pieces won't be available in brown, they won't be available in reddish brown. So yeah, sometimes it can get a little goofy when you're dealing with color variations. So that totally looked better in my head. Just saying. I think I'll pass. At this point, my only thing that could save me is just making this a plate, get some studs, just to get some definition there. Yeah, it's still too symmetrical-ish. Like, if I could pull this one down half half a stud. Something along these lines. Time to go into the realm of fantasy for a bit. So yeah, this totally isn't not practical at all. It's not like I've just got this tile hanging there, well, the plate hanging there just like that. Again, it looked a little better in my head, but something like that is kind of, I guess, what I could shoot for, but there's really no way to pull that off. Sometimes it's just not quite how it works. Or you can always cheat the living daylights out of it. But in this situation, I don't think we're going to go for that approach. Yeah, sometimes I just come up with strange ideas. Well, I think we're going to leave it there for now. The side of the head I think looks alright. Back of the head, again, there's nothing going on back there, so that really helps the situation. It's just plain. And even the side of the head, if he rolls over, you can see it there. See, there's really not a whole lot going on there, you know, so that works out pretty good. It's that front bit that's, I can't get enough detail per se, or just that overall look. I suppose I would want a wedge look and not a slope look. So, like, I don't know, some piece in the realm of the wedges. Something with a sharp angle, but if I want both sides coming down to a point, I can get like one and not the other. So I don't really know what all to do about that. Like, I need but this was too sharp. Like, you need to come out to be a little blunt. So again, sometimes, you know, you just give your brain a rest, and then you come back to it and you're like, oh, why didn't I think of this? And boom, it's just something works out. So there we go, him and his giant flippin' hat. Oh dear, I don't know. Some of these guys just, oh well. So we're in it for that part. Hopefully next time we'll have a little better luck. If I can't think of anything for this hair bit in the meantime, I may just start going with the coat. Just trying to complete the look and, you know, just seeing what I can do. So yeah, that's all for now. So until next time, goodbye.